Feeling trapped by all the stuff? Can't keep up? No time to think or plan? Has the rush and gush of modern life got you trapped?
Slow is the new fast. Slow is the new fast.
Slow is the new fast.
Set your coordinates. It's Mach 0, making time for life, one thing at a time, with your host, the VIP coach, John Davidson.
Yeah, this is JD. You're listening to the VIP coach. It's called the Mach 0 podcast. Yep, we're here. It's the Mach 0 podcast again. And it's all about making time for life, one thing at a time. The reason why you're here is that you want to create what matters to you. You have become an experienced entrepreneur. You've got this thing called a business, and the business has been consuming you. You wanted all the freedom. When you started this business, you wanted all the freedom, but you don't have it. You were expecting it to give you a great lifestyle, but it's consuming your life. It's not serving your life. And so I created this show as a parallel to our VIP coach program. We coach affluent entrepreneurs in how to make everything get better, their quality of life, their personal performance, develop their enterprise to a sustainable enterprise so that they can oxygenate their life plan, oxygenate their ability to focus their gifts, oxygenate their ability to get to their purpose, and make the most of the relationships that they bring value to. So in previous shows, I talked about the prosperity zone, that you have yourself, you have your self-determination, which is your intention, the future you want to create, which is you as the serial creator. You have the business, your financial freedom here, which is your means. We talked about how money buys time, about money buying time, that time is not money, not as an entrepreneur, because you don't make money by time. I've never had an entrepreneur tell me that they get paid for the time. They get paid for the opportunity. They get paid by the relationship they create value for. So this is a way, it's a means to their freedom. It's a means to being freed up by knowing how valuable they are, by confirming the value that they create, and out of that they're able to make time, they're able to create time. They're hiring people to free them up, focus their gifts, and enjoy the memories that they create with their free time. And then they have relationships, and without relationships, we don't have a business. Without relationships, we can't experience ourselves emotionally. Relationships are the juice. So in business, we have to create value for someone before expecting an opportunity. We create value internally as a gifted boss. We create value externally as a value creator. On the business side, we're a diligent engineer. We create systems. We create reusable formats, reusable frameworks that our team can help us capitalize on. We can increase quality. We can increase consistency. We can measure a system. We can reduce variation. But not only that, we have to be flexible. We have to bring an agricultural model in conjunction with a scalable efficiency model. To be an agricultural entrepreneur, it means we have to be ready for anything and expecting nothing. It requires an adaptability, a flexibility today because you're living in the VUCA world. What's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous? Volatility yields vision. Uncertainty yields understanding. Complexity yields clarity. And ambiguity yields agility. We learn from the future as it is emerging. We can't predict the future. We can only create the future. We must integrate our experiences in life as one whole with our business self, our personal life, and the relationships that we seek to foster, so that we combine creative freedom to be freed up and to harvest our creative freedom, to create what matters to us authentically and remember what's most important, to be energized by what makes a difference and what matters to us. It's a spiritual economics. And then to be an economist in our life, to be able to extract what life has in it, to be able to listen to the life that's here. Life is full of teachings and lessons. We make life our teacher. And so life in itself is in the business of creating life. That we can capture the present moment as the most possible moment to tap into what the future needs of us. And then as a business, we foster that creative purpose with life by having financial freedom to oxygenate it so that our spirituality and our commerce can cohabitate. And then we have people. That's right. We have relationship. We have relationship. This is our creative value. So we multiply creative freedom by creative value, and we auctionate it with our financial freedom. We multiply it by that. We give rise to a creative purpose to realize our fundamental values and our fundamental aims in life, to do what we came for, to take this wild and precious gift of life and to do the best we can with what we've been given, to give all we've been given. But today I'm going to talk about something that is absolutely predatory to the life-giving qualities of what we're talking about, to the fun and the spirit and the enthusiasm of being an entrepreneur. This thing has become the consumer, the assault on your attention. This is what I hear day in, day out in 120 coaching sessions a month, 30 coaching sessions a week with some of the best entrepreneurs in North America. This seems to be the number one time suck, the number one energy suck, the thing that intrudes upon their ability to manage their attention, manage their day, manage their priorities. And when I say it to you, you will say yes, because it is true. Email. Email has become the consuming quality of our attention. Email has become something that we constantly are fighting to keep up with. Email, although is very useful, it's useful in the sense that we can write things, we can message people on a very quick basis. We can get feedback. Remember, we used to do it through the mail. We don't have to wait on someone to send us a piece of mail. We have email. But email has become 80% of the time consuming and 20% of the time useful. We get spam. We get useless email. We get insider email from our support staff. We get outsider email from our customers. We get email from prospects. We get email from vendors. We get email from advertisers. And the list goes on and on and on. 28% of executives' time in the week goes to answering emails. 28%. Scary to think about when you think about 20% of the total work product of an executive gives rise to 80% of the value. So what is that 20% or 28% really meaning when we have this progressive imbalance ratio? That 28%, if we really blow it up, is hugely costly. Only 1 hour of 8 hours of an average day for an executive is truly the part that creates the result. 1 out of 8. The use of that 1 hour, the first 90 minutes in the day is where 90% of the day's value is created. The first 90% the first 90 minutes of the day is where we get 90% of our results. It really says to us that we need to organize what we do in the morning differently, and it should not be email. So, do not come into the office and start answering emails. That's the big no-no. If you come in and you have this paradigm that access equals success, that you need to be accessible, if you think about why your clients buy from you, if you think about why people love you, why your brand is so, why you are most popular, if it's because you're accessible, if it's because you're responsive to everybody, I got news for you, you're not going to grow. You're going to be continuously fighting the battle, the war on stuff. Stuff. Stupid things you fire first. Stuff. So how do we lick this email battle? Well, we got to look at our governing ideas. We got to look at our mental maps that lie beneath, because these maps give rise to the strategies that we take on, and then these give rise to the behaviors, the actions that we take, and these lead to negative consequences. So we are sabotaging ourselves. Being overwhelmed by email isn't the problem. It's how much meaning we assign to what we're doing and how we're structuring our time. So number one is do not answer emails in the morning. That is the no-no. Don't get up in the morning and process emails. Do not get up early and process emails. You're putting your mind into a detail gear. You're not paid for that. That's not where you get results. So be your own bouncer here. Let's get decisive. Raise your standards. There should be 2 times in the day when you answer email, and pick those 2 times very carefully. And I recommend that you put a limit on that time. So you say, great, I'm going to answer this for 30 minutes. Okay, so let's say 12 noon. You answer emails for 30 minutes. What's going to happen? You're going to think about what you're going to occupy in those 30 minutes rather than dealing with email on a linear basis. When you're dealing with email on a linear basis, you're just letting stack up whatever stacks up, and then haphazardly on a reactive basis, you're just taking whatever's in the front of the line. And so you're assigning big meaning or small meaning, any meaning to that first item, and it may not have any meaning at all. And so you're misallocating, you're majoring in the minors. It doesn't work, and it creates an unintended consequence. Now, maybe you're using email as a form of protection. And I say this very, very carefully. Sometimes individuals in the sales industry, when they go after sales for a long period of time, they get very, very experienced, they get very, very comfortable. And they want to grow, but they don't want to do the necessary actions to grow. Because back when they were amateur, back when they were first starting, they got very, very hungry. They were willing to strike. They were willing to be the eye of the tiger. They were willing to do whatever it took, make the sacrifices. They were gladiators, not call reluctant wimps. But over time, they have become either consciously or unconsciously call reluctant. They don't want to do all the pounding work, the hard work, and so they kind of smoke their own exhaust. Success leaves very bad clues. The more successful they become, the more complacent they become to do the original things that they did to get to the next level. And so they've actually built structures around it. And one of those structures is they've used email as a front, is that they get into all these emails as a form of thinking to themselves, I don't have any time to get to anything else. And actually what they do is they create a fatalism. They create a powerlessness by having all this email that they actually are more familiar and prefer inadvertently the email than they would prefer to do the growth actions that are taking them to the next level. And when I bring it up, it's funny, it's like they've been hiding it. Like, why do you do email in the morning? Because I really don't want to cold call, or I don't want to call on a stranger. I don't want to call on someone new on my LinkedIn, or I don't want to meet somebody new, or I don't want to go to that meeting, or I'm avoiding something. So they hide in the email. And then they play this little game, this delusional game about feeling productive. Well, I had all these emails to handle. Yeah, I guess so. And then that becomes the new norm. That becomes the place, the default place where you say, well, I got a lot of email. And so you go out, you create a little more business, you get a couple more referrals, and more details come in, more email, more services, more stuff to answer, more stuff to do, more details. And so it begets itself. It starts to snowball, right? You get more and more details, more and more details, more and more details. And the more that you're handling the short-term screaming that's coming at you, the less you're likely to handle or get to the long-term outcomes. And so you undermine or outlaw, you ambush the actual outcomes. It's a sabotage dynamic. You don't have to do that. You can suspend the underlying idea that you are afraid. You can suspend that fear by looking at, one, you got to pay the rent. Not just literally pay the rent, but in order for you to be as successful as you are, in order for you to be this person who's achieving, who's creating an inspired life, who's living life on their own terms, you got to pay something for it. And that means you got to do some of the things you don't like to do on a daily basis because it's a discipline. You make your secondary choices. You take action on behalf of what it is that you seek to create, your primary choice, your goal. And so you've known this, but you've forgotten it. You've forgotten self-management. There's been some lost self-control here. You've become comfortable, complacent. And you might assume that it's still going to be the same, but it's not, because things can change on a moment's notice. And you may not be noticing because you don't want to look, but your business could be going downward and you're not even knowing it because you don't want to look at the truth. So wake up right now. Just wake up, pull back, and look at what you're really trying to create. And then come back to what you're currently up to. Look at the current thinking that you have around this. Own it. Tell yourself the truth. The distance that you have between where you are and where you want to be increases the velocity. It actually resolves some tension, not emotional tension, but it resolves the discrepancy. That's nature's ways of working. It is the distance between 2 points, the current state, the desired state. It naturally is inclined to resolve. It's like the armature and the engine of an archer's bow. When you stretch it, there's tension in the bow. And the distance between it, or the flames between the logs on the fire, the more that distance is, the more the flame burns brighter and harder. The second thing is you don't like to disappoint people. And so you try to clean out your inbox to make sure you make everybody happy. But I got news for you. You could clean out your inbox and you could be a very unhappy person. You'll get home by 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, or you'll have to go into work earlier and so forth. You'll be living a very interesting life. You'll be living a life that you don't want. Because you have a clean inbox, I would suggest that you let go of people's responses to you so much and maybe realize you're going to have a few complainers, that there is an impossible email effect, that you're never going to tackle it. You're never going to get to everything that needs to be done. You're just not going to clean out your inbox. The way to reduce overwhelm is to assign different meanings to things. Not about tackling the voluminous stuff that you have to do. It's not about getting to your to-do list. It's about getting to the priorities that you make about things. You have to assign certain priorities, which means you have to think about what matters most. Look at what's on your plate. Some of us just ignore what's on our plate. We don't even want to look at it. That's a form of delegation. It's called procrastination or avoidance. We're worried that we might have to do more than we're used to. We're worried that we might have to answer more phone. We have to answer more emails, so forth. We probably will if we keep thinking that way, because the indecision is it's amassing a seismic thing that we can't get rid of, like a debt. If I keep paying things on credit cards, it immediately feels great because it's paid for. But ultimately, I can't pay down what it sums up to. And that's like doing the short term, undermining the long term. We're going to take a break. I'll be right back. And when we get back, I'm going to walk you through the specific steps. We're going to talk more about the thinking and the specific steps. And I'm going to save you probably 3-4 hours a week on getting to email slavery. You don't have to do it anymore. I'm going to take a break. I'll be right back. Stay with us. This is the Mach Zero Show, one thing at a time.
It's Monday morning. I'm drained.
You've got mail.
Look at this. It's the Monday Advantage video. Yeah! Now I can get past the distractions and implement something new.
The Monday Advantage. It's that easy. Just subscribe free for a limited time at highlevelperformance.com. Every Monday, launch the week with fresh tools, giving you the right state of mind, focus, and confidence. See what becoming a gifted boss and serial creator is all about. Subscribe today at highlevelperformance.com. That's highlevelperformance.com. And start enjoying your Monday Advantage today. Grow your business and grow as a human being with these captivating books authored by the VIP coach himself, John Davidson. The Day I Built My Barbecue is about creative freedom. Learn how you can not only live well, but also grow a thriving business at the same time. John shows you his step-by-step technique with the principles, strategies, and steps to move from a business operator to a business owner. The day you build your barbecue is the day we all wish for. Totally free of distractions, totally available to living well, fully present. Then don't miss Unstoppable You. It's about creative value. When we do what we love and love what we do, we discover ways to make our business more fun and monetize our passions. Through stories, tools, and steps, this book will help you bring something to the world that no one else can and bridge your most unique talents to the deepest aspirations you have of the future. And stand in the presence of all you are. It's about creative purpose. What does it mean to live on purpose? How do we work with the mystery that life presents us at every moment? In this book, John shows us through the silent spaces in life how to connect with our innermost sacred projects and passages. You'll learn how to bring the work, language, and presence of the soul into everything you do. Visit highlevelperformance.com to pick up any of these books in paperback or Kindle editions today. That's highlevelperformance.com. Having a life where you have the creative freedom to do what you love and to offer the world something that only you can bring to the table. That is the world of high-level performance with John Davidson. That is the world of radical creativity. That is the world that you can be a part of when you realize all that is holding you back is you. Begin the journey through one-on-one coaching that gives you the finesse for business and lifetime achievement, and find your place on the roadmap to high-level performance today. Visit highlevelperformance.com. From go time to slow time. Slow is the new fast. Mach Zero, making time for life, one thing at a time. With VIP coach John Davidson.
And we're back. This is JD, the VIP coach. You're listening to the Mach Zero Show, making time for life, one thing at a time. Today we're taking an attack. We're putting a war room strategy in place on fighting email, this email piece that's predatory to our lives, predatory to our business. So the thinking is letting go of people's responses, and it's knowing that you probably want to belong. You do like approval from other people, but stay with the idea. You don't have to respond to it. You don't have to position a strategy or take on a behavior to try to make it nice with everybody, to try to please everybody, because you're going to put your life into the ground. That is a recipe for an imbalanced life. You will not get to what matters to you if that's what you're thinking. It's an undermining concept, and so you have to let go of pleasing everyone and accept that there's going to be turds in your life. Turds are individuals that are going to be turds no matter what you do. It's the lower 20% that are going to be the most headaches in your life, the 20% that give you 80% of the headaches. Turds will be turds. No matter what you do, you're not going to be able to control those turds. So let turds be turds. The middle ones are those people that are going to go either way. You know, they may like what you do, not like what you do, but you let go of their responses. You let go of the outcome. You don't be attached to it. But you organize it around your priorities. Now, so we've talked about a couple of these governing paradigms, right? Letting go of people's responses and access equaling success. It does not. You got to have something better. You got to create a better reason, a better strength, a better ability, a better talent for people to want to be with you, for people to want to hang with you, refer you, be loyal to you, and keep paying you for what you do more and more to get good raises. Now, what do we do about this? Well, we talked about the morning ritual. So do not answer email in the morning. Schedule 2 times a day when you're going to answer email, and only answer for 30 minutes. But to do that, there's a couple structures we need to set up. One is, in your inbox, if you're using Outlook or something comparable, make a folder called Action. And whenever you have an email that takes more than 2 minutes to answer, just drag it over from your inbox and put it in the Action folder. If you can handle it within 2 minutes, go ahead and handle it, because it'll take more time for you to look it up, think about it. So ask yourself, use the 2-minute rule. Can I handle this email in 2 minutes or less? If you can, go ahead and handle it. Now, acknowledging is different than answering. Acknowledging is different than answering. Acknowledging is different than answering. Acknowledging someone means, hey, I got your email. I see what you want. Great. I know you want a quality response. I've scheduled time to get back to you by 5 o'clock tomorrow. Under-promise and over-deliver. Under-promise and over-deliver. Under-promise and over-deliver. You hear what I just said? You don't need to respond within 24 hours by answering the email. You can acknowledge an email, and the other party will forgive your speediness, which you've been proving all along, thinking that's your cutting edge. The speed thing isn't as important as the quality. Don't answer the email unless you're fully attentive. Why would you give someone a half-assed response, right? You owe it to them to really give it careful thought. That's what they really want. They want attention. They want to feel important. They want to feel understood. So pivot them to a different time. Hey, I received your email. Here's what I'm doing with it. And then schedule it at a date and time when you know you can make account for other things that might come up in between, and then maybe get it done before then to show that you're on your game. Under-promise and over-deliver. Now, answer the email. If it's under 2 minutes, go ahead and answer it, get it out, answer it, handle it. But if you can and it requires more time and you're not acknowledging it, because acknowledging it would mean a deliberate delay, you'd schedule it, you get it on your calendar. What I do in Outlook is there's a portion above the 5-day view that has a blank section at the top. It's above the time areas, right? There's a blank section. If you click on it twice, it'll open an event. Just title the subject line with whatever you need to get back to on that designated day. If it's within the next 5 days, just title it whatever it is, and then hit OK, and then it'll be there, and it'll be a memory jogger. So I call these parachute tasks. Parachute tasks are things that parachute into my day, or parachuting emails, parachuted emails that come in, they get dumped on me, and I need to say hello and goodbye to them. So I'm going to move them onto that event portion that sits right at the top of my 5-day view. That way when I look at it, I go, oh, okay, for this day, these are some of the things that I've parachuted, I've dropped into my day. I've dumped them on myself. But I have said goodbye to them at the moment when they were requested. So it's saying hello and goodbye to this distraction. Acknowledging is different than answering. Use the 2-minute rule. Now, you may have emails that need to be relayed. You're not the right person to handle it, and you have support to handle it for you. Great thought. Don't handle it. Have someone else handle it. Hopefully what you've done is you've prepared them properly by telling them and showing them how to handle processes like this. That's good. We have something in the program called Maintenance Days that helps you do that. But at the moment of truth, when you want to negotiate and delegate, which means precisely communicate and Communicate what you expect them to accomplish, furnish the context and so forth, the deadline. When you know that it's going to be a relay, then get out your email, forward it, take the email, forward it, and in the subject line, put the name of the customer or the invoice name or reference the task. So it's the task, the client number, or something that references it so it could be looked up again, then period, then the initials of the person you're delegating it to. So let's say it's Joe Dokes, J.D., and then period, today's date. So today's date would be April 1st, 2015. So you'd put just like that. You do 4/1/15, and then you CC yourself on the email. And of course, down in the notes section, you can provide them the purpose of the task, tell them about the process that needs to be done, and maybe explain what success would look like if it was done successfully. What would be the best case scenario, the worst case scenario to avoid to be successful, to set some expectations. Don't do drive-by delegation. No, 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 no. We don't do delegation in the hallway. This is a moment of truth. If you need more time, then take that email, put it in your action folder, and then you're going to work on delegating it later. Now, for those that you actually delegate, and so you've outfitted the subject line, you've put down below the purpose, the process, and the payoff, the 3 Ps. The payoff is what's in it for them, if there is one. The payoff is what the benefit is or the advantages is for you or the context. And then the process are the specific steps. Once you do that and you deploy it and you give a deadline as to when it needs to be done, you're going to CC yourself. And when it comes back into your inbox, immediately drag it over to a waiting folder that you create. Create a waiting folder. And that way, tomorrow morning when you come in, you're going to gaze at, you don't have to open up, but you're going to gaze at those emails sitting in there, and you're going to see, one, how many days have passed since you deployed the email, who it went to for follow-up, and what the task is so that you're on your game. That way you're not falling by the wayside, creating your own log jams by not following up on items that you're depending on. And by having a dependency system, you're more inclined to delegate. One of the reasons why I never delegated emails is because I didn't have a system. I didn't have a way for me to reliably position other people to do it. I created less confidence for doing it. Therefore, I wouldn't do it. I'd hold on to things. I'd create longer time frames. I would create all sorts of distractions for myself. So this is a way for you to do it, to set up a confident manner to position emails. Get them off your desk. Get them off your plate. But you need to make a decision. Don't delay on this. You need to make a decision. Another thing you can do is ask yourself when you get the email, when you retrieve it in your inbox, just an email, not the waiting email, but just a general email, is ask yourself, will it hurt me to throw this away? It's a great question. Will it hurt me to throw this away? A lot of things, it won't hurt me to throw it away. When I really think it through, it won't hurt me to throw it away. So I'll just, I'll put it in my delete. Just delete. And I might also ask, okay, if it will hurt me to throw it away, then what is the outcome that I'm committed to with this? Because the email may be a suitable task to a project that I'm trying to accomplish. So what is the outcome that I'm trying to accomplish? That gives me a sense of urgency. It helps me position it within the sequence of priorities that I'm making up. I have to arrange things according to my priorities. And then, of course, I'm going to process it. So if it hurts me to throw it away, then I'm going to do it. Will it take me 2 minutes? If yes, then go ahead and do it. If no, then I need more time. Drag it over into the action folder to handle email when my email responding times are scheduled on my calendar. If I can relay it to somebody and I can do that within 2 minutes, go ahead and do it. Outfit the task. Make sure the purpose and the process and the payoff is there, the subject line, the initials, and the date, today's date, and deploy it. CC yourself. Drag it into the waiting folder over on the left underneath your inbox. And that way later on you can follow up on any items you're depending on others for to come through. So these are some of the they're very small changes, but they lead to mammoth results. Just setting up some of these structures, setting up the thinking process, right? So that way you have a form of delegation, and you can trust yourself, you can rely on your system, you can offset your mind because you only have a certain amount of RAM to handle your personal hard drive. So you have to be able to set up these systems to occupy your mind on the big, not just the small. So again, access does not equal success, and you will never be able to please anyone. There will always be turds out there no matter what you do. So if you have a relatively clear inbox, but not a totally clear inbox, you'll create a life. If you don't, you probably won't have one, so you can let go a little bit. Your responses can be within 24 hours. Make that a ground rule. It doesn't have to be immediate. The only reason it is because you're biased to speed, and you're using that as a branding element, that you need better stuff. Think of something better. Think of a bigger, better reason as to why people do business with you. Even if you ask them, they'll tell you. And it's not going to be because you're responding quickly to their emails. Not because you're Clint Eastwood on the emails. Not because you're so fast. It's because there's something else about you that they admire. There's something else about you that they see as your personal gift. And what can you do to emancipate that, to immunize other distractions from that? I think we're doing that right here, is to position your unique ability, your personal gift, so you can spend 80% of your time on that and not on the junk. So, letting go of these paradigms, implementing some of these structures, putting the folders in motion, setting up your action folder, setting up your waiting folder, equipping the subject line in the waiting process, using the 2-minute rule. Then will it hurt me to throw this away? A lot of things, it won't hurt you. So just throw it away. You don't need to look at it again. You don't need to save it. That'll keep you from setting up all these dummy folders where you think you need to save stuff. You really don't need to save it. You probably will never look at it again. 80% of the time, you just won't. Just touch it once. Ask yourself, can I throw this away? Now, there are other things you can do this with. You can do this with phoning. You can do this with paperwork, right? You can think this through. So as something is on your desk, as something is on your mind, just take a brain dump for a moment. Yeah, download what's on your head. Take a fearless inventory of what's demanding you. Collect it. Actually know where you are. Take an inventory. Don't avoid it. Don't ignore it. Take a loose ends analysis. What are you avoiding? What are you not doing? What are the bottlenecks? Then ask yourself, what is the outcome that I'm committed to with this? Truly, what is the outcome that this is serving? And then what's my next step? And then what do I do? Do I dump it? Do I delete it? Do I delegate it? Do I delay it? Do I do it? But you pick among those 4 Ds: dump, do, delegate, or delay. And then from there you identify. You identify where you're going to do it: at home, on the computer, out and about, on the airplane, in the office, in the conference room. We have all these different domains. At our third home, Starbucks. Where are you going to do it? And when are you going to do it by? Deadlines organize action. So I use TRAF, T-R-A-F, as in Frank, for the paper stuff, which means to trash, relay, action, or file it. So trash it, relay it, take action, or file it. If it's something I'm going to do in the next 30 days, let's pick up maybe a tickler file at Home Depot. You can get them for $4 or $5. It has 31 sections in there. If you've got paperwork you want to handle 10 days from now, put that in the corresponding day. All right, the 11th of April, put all the paperwork in there. Pull it out on that day. Out of sight, out of mind. You're not thinking about it. It's no longer dead weight on your mind. Right? On your phone calls, don't give out your cell phone. Give good instructions on your outgoing voice message to say, please leave specific details about your call. I'll be returning it within 24 hours. If you need to get a hold of me urgently, set up an urgent email box like urgent@xyz.com. The other thing you might do is tell your assistant to set up an iron curtain. Take the top 10 VIP accounts or the top 10 VIP people that absolutely must get through the steel curtain no matter what, and then the remaining, just contain them, and you're never sent them. So anything you check outside your scheduled email times will be in your steel curtain list. Otherwise, it's not important. The point is, if you implement 1 or 2 of these structures like a domino effect, it's going to begin to free you up. You may not be doing all of them. I've given you lots of ideas. But maybe take the 1 or 2 that really resonated with you. Give yourself a week to put it to practice and focus the habit of doing it. Focus the habit of doing it. The purpose of having a coach is to refine this. It requires consistency and commitment. Habits take a while to form. It takes a while to become unconsciously competent at something. But by putting a support system and putting a series of distraction immunities in place, you'll be able to plan your peripheries accordingly around your unique ability so you get freed up. Just like the bouncer of a nightclub, you have a red velvet rope policy. Only certain things get through the door. Only certain things get through your domain of self-efficacy like the moat of a castle. You have to defend your keep. You've got to be the guardian of your own life-giving qualities. No one is responsible for your life balance, only you. If you'd like more information about our programs, we're at highlevelperformance.com. You can find us online at highlevelperformance.com. Go to our Facebook page or find us on the Monday Advantage videos on YouTube. We have other podcasts online in the Mach Zero series. We also have the Radical Creativity Show. So lots of goodies on the site. Check out our blog at highlevelperformance.com. Our phone number is 714-375-6624. If you need some help, you'd like the help of a coach, you'd like to make sure that all your resolutions that you set forth in December are kept throughout the year and you have the best year that you've ever had, and you need the focus, the personal performance, the unified team, the sustainable enterprise, and the quality of life you're looking for independently, you want to go to the Prosperity Zone, it's time to get started. You're very wise to look into coaching because you're comfortable with your own ignorance. It's not about having all the answers. It's about having all the questions. And going from here to 500, $1 million, to going to $2 million in income is about investing in your strategic thinking. It's not about all the hard work. It's about working smarter. Amen. So have a great month. Thank you for listening to my show. I look forward to any emails from you. I'm at VIPcoach@highlevelperformance.com. I look forward to seeing you on our Facebook fan page. Please go there and visit the VIP Coach on Facebook. Please join as a fan and follow along. We're all going to the prosperity zone. We're looking for better business and better life. Thank you very much.
For more tools, go to highlevelperformance.com. Better business, better life. Fast growth, keeping things simple. Or visit us on Facebook. Mach 0, making time for life, one thing at a time. Set boundaries, focus your attention, and maintain a positive state of mind. Hire a VIP coach to help you. Call 714-912-9261.